Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ha, Racha, Chodash, Ma'ama. Double honors to the elder apostles and their elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder of this camp as well, Harawan Ban Yasharallah. Salutations to the sincere Aki and pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Kharab Ban Yasharallah, coming out of the Lions Den camp of Yasharallah here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now today we coming out with a lesson. The title of this lesson is "Be not drunk in excess." You know, that's really twofold. Be not drunk in excess. Don't be drunk with the philosophies of this world, the made up beliefs and doctrines of man. Secondly, don't overdo it when you're drinking. But we'll focus on one aspect of it, and that's the spiritual aspect of it. Because you know, Alazar, whatever y'all call him, you know, so the Sakari, you know, he basically just disowned the book of Hebrews, like just basically said it has no validity, and that's him being drunk in excess of his own way of thinking, his own beliefs, his way of twisting the scriptures. And you know he's real slick though. He do a lot of flipping and twisting words and things to try to make it sound a certain way when they don't mean that. So he's drunk in excess. He's caught up on his own way of thinking. And so before I get to the main part, I'm gonna bring this here precept out real quick in Sirach chapter 5. It says, "Follow not thine own mind, and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart, of thy heart." So the Lord says, don't follow your own mind. Don't lean unto your own understanding. When you start leaning into your own understanding, that's when you become what? Drunk in excess. You start believing things or interpreting things of the scriptures that are not so. And one of those things is Sakari or Alazar, whatever. Him trying to say that the book of Hebrews is null and void when he said out of his mouth, if it does not say thus saith the Lord, it is not the words of the Most High. And you can understand and see how he tried to flip it, but that would invalidate the whole New Testament if that's the case, because in the New Testament it does not say thus saith the Lord nowhere. So that means the whole New Testament is useless, right? You know, by his word, by that remark, which is, you know, he's drunk in excess. He caught up on his own thing and his own power. You know, he feel like, you know, he can tell people what to do. I mean, he probably tell his little peons up under him what to do, but be not drunk in excess. Don't get caught up in this foolishness. The physical, not the physical slacky, the spiritual immoralities, or i.e. doctrines or perverse doctrines of this world. But let's continue. This is Ephesians chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "Be ye therefore followers of Yahweh as dear children." So we're supposed to be followers of Yahweh and the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai as dear children. When you tell your children things and you tell them to follow you, and guess what? They follow you. Especially if you tell them something, they believe you. They look for you to be right, and they follow you, and they don't necessarily not question, but they don't, for lack of a better term, buck up. You know, like especially when your children, like say you tell your children something, especially when they real young, you tell them anything, they believe you. So we're supposed to be like that and following Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai. Continue. Verse 2. It says, "And walk in love as Hamashiach also hath loved us, and had given himself for us of an offering and a sacrifice to Yahweh for a sweet smelling savor." So we're supposed to walk in love. What is that love? The love of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Telling our people the truth, that's also love as well. Correcting and defending the gospel is also love as well. Showing the Most High that we care for his doctrine. Just like We supposed to walk in love just like Hamashiach loved us and gave himself, you know what I'm saying, as an offering, the ultimate sacrifice to Yahweh for a sweet smelling savor, for us to be reconciled back to the Father. That's what we're supposed to do. And continuing, walking in love. Verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness, nor covetousness, let it be not once named amongst you, as you becometh saints. So any fornication, spiritual, physical, uncleanness, or covetousness, let all those things be put away. Don't let it be named. I mean, don't let it be found among you. Don't let it be seen. Or don't allow it. I would say don't let it be found among you. Just keep it simple. Don't let it be found among you, because these are things that drive a wedge, that keep you away from Yahweh Bashmel Shai, and keep you away from the Akim. And in those things, in those cracks, leaven can form. Covetousness, things like that. Don't let it be named among you. Like some camps out here and other guys. Verse 4, it says, neither filthiness nor foolish talking, got a lot of that happening, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather of giving thanks. So don't have no filthiness, no foolish talking. And foolish talking meaning saying that the book of Hebrews is invalidated or non-appliance because it doesn't have thus saith the Lord in it, but nor jesting. Don't make fun of the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Don't mock, don't scoff. Don't talk against your spiritual parents, but rather giving thanks. But rather the giving of thanks, being thankful to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that we know and understand this word. But as you have been seeing, and as the Lord has been showing over the years, many are called, but few are chosen. Not everybody is chosen. A lot are called, but not everybody is chosen. Verse 5. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Hamashiach and of Yahweh. So there you go. That's plain and simple. No whoremonger, no unclean person. Anybody that's drunk in excess with the philosophies, the beliefs, and the doctrines, and the spiritual perversions of this world. Whoremongering, unclean person, covetous man, idolater, somebody that worship idols. They don't have an inheritance in the kingdom of Hamashiach and Yahweh, Hamashiach Yahushua and Yahweh. Because most times when things like this, such as the fornication and the uncleanness and the covetousness and the filthiness and the foolish talking and jesting, that's somebody that's drunk in excess with the things of this world. They're drunk with the Babylon juice, the spiritual immoralities, the spiritual perversions, the fornications, of believing lies and worshiping idols. That's being drunk in excess. Lean it to your own understanding when it comes down to the scriptures. That's not gonna help you with this truth. You will never ever grow. But let's jump down to the verse 9. You know what? Verse 6. Shalaki. That was my last verse before jumping down. Anyway, it says, let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahweh upon the children of disobedience. So let no man deceive you with vain words. Let no man deceive you with lies. Let no man cause you to be drunk in excess with philosophies, doctrines, addition to the scriptures, subtraction from the scriptures. Because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahweh upon the children of disobedience. 2/3 of the people are disobedient, very hard-headed and disrespectful, and they're drunk in excess. So you don't be drunk in excess when it spiritually. And also don't be drunk in excess physically too when you be drinking. Because when you get drunk, you drink too much, you get drunk, and your balance is off, your reaction time is slow, and all manner of things. And you know what I'm saying? And harm can come to you in that state. But harm can also come to you in being drunk in the spirit as well, being drunken in excess in the, you know what I'm saying, with these spiritual imperversions. Let's jump down to verse 9. It says, "For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord Yahweh." So the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth. That's how you know somebody that has the Spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua on them, because they're gonna tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna come from a standpoint of goodness and righteousness and truth, and within that they're gonna prove what is acceptable unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. But you cannot prove what is acceptable until Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua being drunk in excess. You know, going on your own way of thinking. And it is what it is. A lot of these camps, these other camps outside of the doctor, the one camp that preached the truth, and everybody under the umbrella of that. Outside of that, they drunk in excess. They caught up in things of this world. They're still worldly, you know, just engaging in all manner of spiritual perversions. Verse 11, it says, "And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." So you're not supposed to have fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. You're supposed to reprove them, but you cannot do that being drunk in excess of the things that are of the Spirit. Shalakia, I read that wrong. But you cannot reprove the works of darkness, or being drunk in excess. You know, being full of spiritual immoralities and false beliefs, doctrines, and religions and stuff. You cannot reprove the works of darkness, because all those things are in the works of darkness, religion and all that stuff. So when you a true man of the Lord, you rebuke wickedness, you rebuke the works of darkness, you reprove it, you blame it, you point it out, you mark it, you let it be known amongst the congregation that whatever's going on, that individual or instant or whatever is at fault. I'm gonna jump down to verse 18. It says, so like in verse 17, it says, "Wherefore be ye not wise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Wherefore be ye not unwise, Salakia, but understanding what the will of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua is." So don't be unwise. Don't be drunk in excess. Be not drunk in excess, so that you are understanding, that you will know what the will of the Lord is. Verse 18, hold on. And these other camps, the IUICs, the UPKs, the GOCCs, and the Sakaris, and all that, they don't know what the will of the Lord is. It is what it is. All of them are drunk in excess. All of them are in darkness, period. Back to the point. Verse 18, it says, "And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit." There you go. Don't be drunk with wine. Don't be drunk with the wine of this world, the philosophies, the doctrines, the beliefs, the traditions, wherein is excess, because the people, they drink it and they drink it and then they get drunk. But it says, "But be filled with the Spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua." Be filled with the Spirit of truth, so that you are able to prove what is acceptable unto the Lord, and know what His will is. And His will is not for. And His will, one thing of His will is for us to not be drunken in excess, to not be caught up in all these lies, philosophies, and beliefs. It is His will for us to turn away from that stuff and turn back to Him and be obedient to Him. But let's continue. Let's go to Sirach chapter 3. And I'm already here in my pocket, so I'm gonna hit this one. This is Sirach chapter 3, verse 18. It says, "The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord." So when you increase in this truth, or you growing in Yahweh Shema Shah, the greater you are, the more humble you should become. And to be honest with you, this Sakari guy, Alazar, Rose, whatever, he's claiming to be so great, but he's not humble. But he puts on this personification that he's so deep, man. He about as deep as a puddle. He just good at flipping and turning words around and being slick. You know what I'm saying? That's something Esau good at. But the greater you are, the more, you know what I'm saying, the more you should humble yourself in this truth. And guess what? You will find favor in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But that's a car dude that's drunk in excess with the wine of his own beliefs. He has not found favor in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He has not. That's why he keep getting rebuked. And every time he say something and get rebuked, the Lord put it out there before the congregations. Brothers do videos, the elders do rebuke videos, correction videos, and then all of a sudden now he magically backpedaling. Shouldn't say the sugar honey iced tea the first time. Real quick. Sirach chapter 1, verse 29. "Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest." So don't be a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what you speak. You got to know what you saying. You got to make sure that you on point. You cannot take something of your own way of thinking and think that you gonna say it, and it not get corrected. You calling yourself being in this truth. You able to say something, or you this high priest, can't nobody say nothing. You, that's being drunk in excess, because only you believe that you a priest. Sakari, he the only one believe that he's a priest, a high priest. He the only one. That's being drunk in excess, man. Back to the point, I'm gonna read it one more time. At Ephesians chapter 5, verse 18, it says, "And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua." Speak, verse 19, "Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua." So we're supposed to speak to ourselves. We're supposed to read. We're supposed to edify, build up the Akim, the body. You know, preach this truth to our people. Making melody, because this is a song that when we bring these scriptures out, this is a song that we sing. So that's what we're supposed to do. But let's go back, because honor and shame is in talk. After he said that, he was shamed. That's why he did that video. And the elder Gabar and the brother the GMS that will be done, his page, the brother Tajapar, got yoked up again. It was another brother who did the video up there in the camps. It's like you can't just say crazy stuff and then think ain't nothing gonna happen. This is Sirach chapter 5, verse 13. "Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall." Just that simple. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. So loose lips sink ships. Just that simple. But you don't understand this when you're drunk in excess. You got to be sober-minded. A lot of these guys are not sober-minded. They're drunk. They think they sober, but they're not. They're drunk. They won't go according to the doctrine because they have a problem with a man. And a man or men that they have a problem with is causing them to disrespect the doctrine and the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and veer off from the blueprint, the template, and go build their own foundation. And they're in that foundation, they become drunk in excess. Let's continue. Oh yeah. Verse 19 of Sirach chapter 3. It says, many are in high places and of renown, but the mysteries are revealed unto the meek. It's many guys sitting in high positions. That's, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and this, that, and the other, and so and so and so and so. And whatever. But guess what? It says many are in high place and of renown, meaning known, but the mysteries of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua are revealed unto the meek, the humble. The humble men, them men who know the will of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Them the men who are not drunk in excess, that know the scriptures, that can break them down to you. His mysteries are only revealed unto the meek. He is far from one that is prideful and lifted up. They won't get it. They're liars. They will not grasp the law. They will not grasp the understanding of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Let's jump down. I'm going to jump over to verse 24 of Sirach chapter 3. It says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. Many are deceived by their own vain opinion. And when one is deceived by his own vain opinion, what? The Lord makes it known. The Lord makes it known, hey, that guy's in error. And a lot of the times when they be deceived by their own vain opinions, of course, I'm going to keep saying it because they're drunk in excess, number one. And number two, they're not watching their mouth. And number three, they really think that they got it. Only thing you're going to get is corrected when you're not corrected. When you're not correct according to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Just that simple. Again, for many are deceived by their own vain opinions of something, or things, or people, or a person. It says, and an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. See, an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. When they want to get things, when they think they got something, like, oh, this is what it is, you going off. That's excess. It is what it is. It's excess. Because more than likely, if you walk away from your teachers and you ain't been built up enough, or you most definitely gonna go left field when it come down to some doctrine, because you're gonna stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning making up your own doctrine or your own beliefs of what you think the scripture means. It just said, follow not their own mind to walk in thy strength, the way of their heart, according to Sirach chapter 5. Lean not to your own understanding. Proverbs. That's when they become drunk in excess. They start believing in all kind of different things. They start trying to incorporate and include things that are just don't line up with the scriptures. Thus far, they're in darkness and they're drunk in excess. It says, a stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last, and he that loveth danger shall perish therein. So a stubborn heart is going to fare evil at the last. Somebody that's not going to listen, is not going to change their ways, it's not going to take the edification that's coming from the elders on down to the Akim and everybody under the umbrella that is preaching the doctrine the way it's supposed to be preached. A stubborn heart is going to fare evil at the last, meaning it's going to be a destruction, a judgment coming. And those who love danger, they're going to perish therein. And when you see somebody being corrected according to the scriptures, and they don't just say, you know what, I was wrong, I shouldn't have said that, and they just keep on their path, they love danger, so they're going to perish in that danger. They're going to perish. It is what it is. Verse 27, an obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrows, and the wicked man shall heap sin upon sin. So an obstinate heart, a hard heart, hard-headed, stubborn, shall be laden with sorrows. Meaning they're going to have sorrows laden. It's going to be just piled on top of them. They're going to be, there was another word that I was thinking of, but it kind of slipped my mind. But they're going to be laden, meaning bogged down, just bogged down with sorrows. And the wicked man shall heap sin upon sin. The wicked man is going to continue to heap sin upon sin, and the wicked man is going to continue to stay drunken in excess, to be drunken with the philosophies and the beliefs of what's going on in today's time and world. Verse 28. In the punishment of the proud there is no remedy, for the plant of wickedness hath taken root in him. And that's what happened to the Sakari leader, and that's what's going to happen to him. In the punishment of the proud, he's very proudful. He's very proud. It is what it is. And if you can't see it, because the root of wickedness is taking root in you too, and just like it took root in, just like the root of wickedness has taken root in the leader of Sakari, anybody that's following him, right hand man, that's the same thing will happen to you. So when he perish, you perishing too. See, if a ruler is wicked, you know what I'm saying? So like if a ruler hearken to lies, all his followers or servants are wicked too. So it is what it is. I done read that. Sirach chapter 6. Salakia. Verse 2. It says, extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying along. You don't extol yourself in the counsel of your own heart. I mean, you don't lift yourself up in the counsel of your own heart, in your own way of thinking. Don't do that. Because if you do that, don't do that so that your soul won't be torn in pieces as a bull straying along. You have herds of buffalo or bison, they be out there on the plains or whatever, and you may have a lion out there. And the buffalo or the bull or whatever sees the lion, and instead of staying with the herd, staying with the protection, they stray away. And when that bull or whatever stray away, guess what? That lion jump on them and rip them to shreds and tear them up and then eat them. So again, you don't extol yourself in the counsels of your own heart, so that won't, so you won't be, that bull that gets torn apart or torn to pieces, straying along, meaning walking away from the doctrine, walking away from the foundation. Because when you start to do that, you become that bull straying along, and you start to get torn to pieces. You start to become drunk in excess. You start to add to the scriptures. You start to take away from the scriptures. You start to sound like a fool when you break the scriptures down. Sirach chapter 7. No, verse 4. It's like it. Back at verse 6. It's like it. Chapter 6 of Sirach. Verse 4. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. So somebody that has a wicked soul, that's being wicked, is going to destroy them. And also it's going to cause them to be laughed to scorn at their enemies. And a lot of these camp leaders have directly proven, shown that anybody that is preaching the doctrine of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua or under the umbrella of GMS, they have made it known that you're an enemy. They have made it known that. They have made it known. So those wicked souls, that wicked soul is going to destroy them. And it's caused them to be laughed to scorn by their enemies. They consider us as enemies anyway, so guess what? We laugh at them. And when they go to going off on scriptures, like, oh, okay, cool, you want to go off and over, I'm going to get, the Most High put the Spirit on the brother, and boom. You come out and the brother just chop him up. And you have other brothers watching videos, you already know other brothers be laughing. Especially when you hear some foolishness out of one of these guys' mouth. It's like, oh, okay. But continuing. Now let's go to Sirach chapter 7, verse 4. It says, seek not of the Lord preeminence. Let's get that word real quick. Preeminence. Lock it that way, man. Should have got the other phone, but whatever. This phone was closer. Again, this is Sirach chapter 7, verse 4. Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king's seat of honor. So again, this is the word preeminence. It says surpassing, or eminence, or superiority, distinction, precedence, a place of rank or distinction, or to transcend or excel, literally project forward or rise above. You know what I'm saying? Or stand out. So there you go. So don't seek of the Lord preeminence. And that's what Sakari did. Well, I don't know if he was seeking of the Lord, but he was seeking preeminence. He was seeking to stand out. Saying Elder Apostle Dahar should step down. Elder Apostle Dahar is not a priest. He's a prophet. Just like the rest of us. Prophets don't step down. You know, he called himself Guerrilla Hebrew. Well, the true men of the Lord are the real guerrilla Hebrews. Guerrilla is about warfare, about fighting. In the shade, anywhere. So, he was seeking the preeminence, and he was seeking the king's seat of honor. The Lord said, don't do that. Don't seek that. Don't seek a high position. Don't do that. Because that's wrong. Verse 5 of Sirach chapter 7. Justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of the wisdom. So like it boast not of thy wisdom before the king. So don't be trying to justify yourself before the Lord. We don't. The children of the Lord have already been justified. Already. So don't try to justify yourself before the Lord. See, Lord, see, I'm doing. Don't just because that's what IUIC plan on doing or trying to do or doing now. I don't know, but don't justify yourself before Yahweh Hashem Shai, and don't boast not of the wisdom before the king. Don't try to make it seem like you know everything, man. If you don't know everything, you don't. There's nothing wrong with not knowing, because what you don't know, another brother do know. What you don't understand, another brother does understand. It's just that simple. But you know, these self-appointed Levitical priests, you know, they don't understand that. A lot of them are just novices, honestly. When they seek to be in high positions and stuff, they just novices. They didn't even get weaned off the milk. Well, let's continue. Verse 6, it says, seek not to be judged, being not able to take away iniquity, lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and lay a stumbling block in the way of thy uprightness. So don't seek to be judged over something or somebody, being not able to take away iniquity. And no man on this earth can take away iniquity. So don't seek to be a judge, unless you fear the person of the mighty, unless the Most High come up, because he's a person of the mighty, and you lay a stumbling block in your own way of uprightness. But you know, these other camps, they're not upright, but they are drunk in excess. Sirach 19, verse 6. It says, he that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babbling shall have less evil. So those that can rule their tongue, shall live without strife. Alizé, Rose, whatever. Alazar, Shakari, we're always talking, man. Always, like you say, jaw jacking. Running his yap. And guess what? He say something stupid every time and get corrected, and then next thing you know, he with the magical back pedals, trying to say what he didn't say when he clearly said what he said. And blatant disrespect to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. See, that's the problem. These fools worried about other Apostle Tahar, or Ariana Lab and the bar. They worried about men. They not worried about Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. They not worried about the one who put the truth here, who gave us the authority to do this. That's what they worried about. They're not worried about that. They're not worried about disrespecting the Lord. They're worried about disrespecting other grown men. And like it's cool. And that's the new thing in this day and age anyway. Disrespecting grown men. That's another topic for another time. But when you can rule your tongue, you'll live without strife, meaning you won't have no problems. You won't cause arguments, you won't strife. Strife is a struggle. He that hateth babbling shall have less evil, and he that hateth babbling shall have less evil. Somebody's always talking, running their mouth every time. But let's continue. A fool and a babbler will regard no time. Let's continue. Verse 11. A fool travaileth with a word as a woman in labor of a child. And I guess there's a lot of fools in these other camps outside of the ones who speak the doctrine. It's a lot of fools because they be falling over everything. They still falling over the rape thing. Still falling over that. That's been years and years and years. It's still stumbling and falling. Every time they get up and get their batters and take a step, they fall back down over it. So it's just, but that's what happened. It says a fool travaileth with the word, and they're fools, and they're travailing with the words of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Proverbs 20:1. It says, wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging. These philosophies and these doctrines and these your own way of thinking, that's that being filled with excess. And when you're deceived by that, guess what? You're not wise. And these guys aren't wise. They're drunk in excess. Last point. Back at Sirach, chapter 31. Hold up. Okay. I was in 32. Salaki. Sirach chapter 31. Verse 25. It says, show not thy valiantness in wine, for wine hath destroyed many. And this is actually talking about physical wine. You can't show how upright and great and valiant you are in wine, because wine hath destroyed many. It's twofold. The same thing can happen in this truth. When you all drunk in excess, you can't show how righteous you is, because you caught up on all these different beliefs, philosophies, and doctrines. You cannot show how righteous you are. Because why? Wine has destroyed many. These philosophies and these doctrines have destroyed many. And actual wine have gotten a... Just think about it. When Jake be out here getting drunk, talking trash, what happened? They get beat up out here. They get scrubbed all the way up. So don't show forth thy valiantness, thy uprightness, thy honor in wine, for wine hath destroyed many. Verse 18, last point. Well, no, not last point. It's like in verse 28 of Sirach 31. Wine measurably drunk in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. So wine drunk in season. Now this is actually talking about physical wine. Wine drunk in season. When you drink it at the right time and you be responsible, it bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. You have a good time. And you can apply it, to the spiritual things, to the spiritual aspect. When you get together with the Akim and y'all do a lesson or whatever, or just simply discuss some things according to the scriptures, you end up having a pretty decent time, and you leave built up and increased in the wisdom and the knowledge of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. But verse 29. But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind with brawling and quarreling. So, twofold. When you drink too much, what happens? Jokers want to go to arguing and fighting and cussing and shooting and stabbing. Same thing on the spiritual aspect. When you get too caught up in these philosophies and beliefs and doctrines, guess what? It causes bitterness of the mind. It sours your way of thinking. And what comes with that is when somebody comes with any shred of truth or light that destroys what you may think or what you may believe, guess what? Brawling and quarreling. You end up in debates or heated debates to the point to where you literally almost come to blows. Or whatever that person is speaking about, the other person head is hard against their head, so no one gets through. This is a bunch of yelling and over talking. So that's why you're not supposed to be drunk in excess. Last point, verse 30. Drunkenness increases the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminishes strength and maketh wounds. Twofold yet again. Drunkenness increases the rage of a fool. When somebody that get drunk, all of a sudden they become Billy Badass. They think they can whoop anything and anybody. Guess what? Or when they do that, they get drunk or whatever, it make them so unruly to the point to where they get disrespectful and they get offensive. And then guess what happens? They get hands put on them. They be like Kevin Hart's daddy. They get hit, they fighting one dude, but they feel like it's 15 other cats fighting them, 8 other dudes hitting them, but it's just one dude. You know what I'm saying? It diminishes your strength. You ever seen two jokers that just drunk fight? It's not a good thing. It diminishes the strength and it maketh wounds, meaning you could hurt yourself or others. Now, on the spiritual aspect, when our people think that they know something, and they're drunk in excess, it makes them say things that are not true according to the scriptures, and it gets to a point to where it gets offensive. And we are a body of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, so these guys that come bringing up these different doctrines is a virus. The body is full of antibodies. Things that fight viruses and other illnesses and bacteria out of the body. So every time a virus enters into the body, what happens? The body puts forth antibodies, i.e. the Lord put the spirit on the brother or one of the elders to do a video issuing the correction or the rebuke. Same thing happens in the spiritual aspect. But see, here's the thing, when they get to that point, these guys don't know that be drunken in excess, from a spiritual standpoint, their strength is diminished. They don't have the strength to make their points valid, because most of the time it's lies and based off nothing anyway. So, and then it causes them to make wounds. They hurt themselves and others that are listening, especially somebody that don't know. and you mislead somebody, like, that's a dangerous thing, man. So be not drunk in excess, because being drunk in excess could cause you a lot of problems for yourself and those around you. You can mislead somebody. So with that, shalom.